People at coffee shops, if there are others behind you in line, how about not telling the barista your life story?
I was surrounded by 8 screaming babies on the plane with no in-flight entertainment.
8 babies is a lot, but you know what? Dogs bark a lot.
They sure do. The grocery store accidentally charged me for a bag of assorted lollipops I didn't even buy. They were $27.
That's way too much for a lollipop. Even really good ones. Have such a good day.
Hey, party people. Welcome to Have Such a Good Day.
Heather and I are recording the show a little bit later than we usually do, even though we're getting into a real good groove. You audio people are like, well, okay, no one cares. But the video folks might notice that we've got a little bit of a lounge, a noir feel.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Soon some dancers are going to come out. Some late night, club dancers.
Like Club MTV.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name that, it was the old MTV VJ days where we all knew the VJs and it was really cool to be a VJ.
Adam Curry.
Adam Curry was one of the earliest. He was there at launch, but no, it was I don't remember.
Nina Blackwell?
No, it wasn't her. It was one of the two. Downtown Julie Brown.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Because there was Julie Brown and there was Downtown Julie Brown. And Downtown Julie Brown was the one who did Club MTV stuff and said, wubba, wubba, wubba.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually really glad you brought this up.
Okay, good.
Because
I wasn't planning on it.
I was thinking about this weekend. Do you think kids these days listen to 80s music? And if they do, what do you think they think of it? I think it's kind of fascinating.
Oh, the way that we listen to 70s or 60s
that's true.
type thing.
But 80s was such a
it's a very specific.
It's very specific, yeah.
Very specific genre. It's funny. I have one of my closest cousins. Got a lot of cousins, but she's 4 and some change years younger than me, to the point where she and her friends were all born in the 80s, and I was not. I was born in the 70s, and I remember them all being like, "Oh, it's so cool! You were like a real 80s kid." And I'm like, "You guys were born in 1981. Calm down." And they're like, "Nah," but you know what I mean?
No, it's very different.
By the time it was 1990, we were not even teenagers yet. It's not the same.
We actually experienced the music where we could actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we won't get too deep into the years and. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody.
Rolling back the years. Wasn't that a Simple Minds song?
Yeah,
or Rolling Through the Years?
Something like that. Sing it.
Not Simple Minds. Simply Red.
Simply Red. Okay, sing it. Sing a clip.
Rolling back the years.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing here is wrong.
And it was kind of like a soul song. Yeah. Actually, speaking of soul, we listened to a lot of Donna Summer this weekend. It was really cool. She's amazing. I love her style. She's sort of
I would call Donna Summer more disco than
she's
soul.
Totally disco.
And Aretha Franklin, God rest her soul.
Definitely.
Queen of soul.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was, definitely disco with a little touch of soul.
But
some of her songs had more of a soul vibe. But
I think I probably know her as a disco singer because I don't know her discography that well.
Yeah,
and there's
totally.
probably a lot more to it.
I love disco music.
I like some of it.
Yeah.
I don't like that much of it.
See, I don't like the YMCA and the stuff that you hear at weddings. That
Not
stuff
a big
I
Bee
don't
Gees
really
fan.
consider really the disco that I appreciate. It's more like real disco. Like real 70s music.
Right. As opposed to the fake 70s disco songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to Have Such a Good Day. We hope you're having one.
No, we really do. We actually we hope you've had a great week so far. I mean, it's we're halfway through, so we're here to try to make it even better, right?
Yes,
Sarah?
we certainly are. And the way that we hope to do this is not only Heather and I just shooting the shit. If you're used to the show, this is episode 7, so you're like, yeah, I know exactly what you guys do. But if you're finding us for the first time, this is a combination of some humor, some cool internet stuff, maybe disturbing sociological patterns that we've been noticing.
Human patterns.
Yeah.
Maybe
technology,
even animal patterns.
Maybe even animal patterns. You never know what you're going to get with us.
Music, pop culture,
The whole
stuff that we're
nine.
into. Just kind of like, these are the things that we live and breathe.
Exactly. We've been friends for a long time. We've worked together in many capacities, and we wanted to do the show for us, but also to hopefully grow a community of folks who enjoy the same kind of conversations and
Make
want to
some
be
new
part of
friends.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, and help us build our show over time, so it's not just the two of us.
Yeah, definitely. And, maybe you will actually learn something in the process. I mean, we're not like, brilliant scientists or anything, but we do like to talk
Speak
about
for
things.
yourself, Heather.
Yeah, Sarah, you're like a
I
brilliant
am
mathematician.
literally a brilliant scientist. Hey, this is a total non sequitur, but because you mentioned science, did you know that NYU is planning to offer medical degrees for free?
What?
True story.
Why? Because they're short people trying to get a degree in medicine?
There's more to, I mean,
Okay.
cost prohibitive.
That's really interesting. So how do you get into the program? Do you have to have a certain, do you have to pass?
There's a qualifying
Okay.
aspect to it. I can't just say, oh, I'm going to be a brain surgeon, or an
Maybe I should go do
astrophysicist.
it.
I guess you wouldn't go to medical school for that. But no, I think I'd probably be politely denied. But if I had the option of going to a highly accredited school, with a, kind of have that NYU medical school pedigree back when I was 16 and I knew that it wasn't going to break the bank.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I might have thought about it.
Absolutely. So what kind of medical? Like any kind of medical or?
Well, I think there's some parameters there.
Oh, I'm sure.
But this was a story that kind of came through the tech wires the other day, and usually on Daily Tech News Show, which I know some of you listen to, and one of the technology focused shows that I do. We don't really cover medical tech so much, but we were like, that is the coolest thing. We have to talk about this.
Let me just ask you one question about that.
Okay.
You have to choose. You're at gunpoint. Would you be a podiatrist or a gynecologist?
Ooh. I think I'd be a gynecologist for the good of female kind.
I think that's a good answer.
Podiatrist is a foot doctor.
Yeah.
If anyone's like, what's that? And you aren't in front of a Google search window right now. I don't want to be a gynecologist at all, Heather. I really don't.
I would. Could you imagine?
But I think that if I really wanted to do something for my people, I'd go with the vag over the foot. I also would throw dentist in there as a medical degree.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be in people's
What about
dirty
like a
mouths.
rectal doctor? Because you see them all over LA. It's like rectal, like go
Really?
through Koreatown. Oh yeah, there's like weird, and they look like the outside of the buildings are like really like I would not want to go in there and get my butt checked. That's all I'm saying.
I guess I'm not surprised that the rectum has its own.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But okay, so this is I'm
like
only
colon stuff.
Oh
and-
well, sure. I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm only half kidding because obviously, if you've got a medical condition, then cheers. Yeah, cheers to that.
accidental
If
cheers.
you've got a medical condition in your butt, you want someone to be good at it. But it's also like, okay, you get to these sort of specialty areas, right?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
if you're able to provide a service and you know that more and more people are going to need that service, it's, doctors make a lot of money.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's probably
Totally.
there's probably a lot of factors to consider why somebody would choose the medical area of expertise where the rest of us are like, but why?
That's what I find fascinating. I would love to interview a podiatrist. Like, what made you choose that? Anyway, we're kicking off the show real strong today.
We sure are.
With medical news.
and
and
the foot fetish is very common.
oh, no,
Heather.
you're right. That's maybe a bad example.
Not that a podiatrist is
There's nothing wrong with being a podiatrist.
Well, it's sort of like, how the anesthesiologist is kind of has the reputation as like having issues with taking anesthesia because they've got access to it, right? There's probably a few podiatrists out there who really like feet in that way.
Oh, yeah. They're motivated in a very specific
At least
way.
a few.
Yes.
At least a few. The rest of you, totally above board.
So, Sarah, how has your week been?
Heather, it's been a shit show. And
Do tell.
I mean dog shit show. quite literally. So I'm fostering a dog.
Who's right behind us, actually,
He
out the
is-
door. If you see the black void back there, he's actually
He's
being a good boy.
He's very comfortable. He's on
Yeah.
it. He's on a blanket and having a little snooze. His name is Otis, formerly named Louis, and he was a stray. He was found by a rescue organization that I've been in contact with, and I'm trying things out. And it's been about exactly 24 hours, and he is the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life, and at the same time, he's more work than I sort of realized, and I'm in this spiral of what I've done
Yeah, you're in a spiral.
to my life.
He's bigger than you.
He's almost bigger than me.
Yeah.
And again, when you foster an animal, you're trying it out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you know for sure that
Sure.
it's going to have an end, and sometimes you're like, I just don't. It's like I'm half committing to see how it goes, and I don't want to talk about it too much because it's going to make me feel super bad if this doesn't work out. But it has been, it has wreaked havoc on my life.
It definitely has. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we're recording really late tonight.
One day, it's been one day. But I also appreciate a few of you who've written me on Twitter and other social networks saying like, hey, don't worry, everybody feels this way at the beginning, because I feel so guilty.
Yeah.
And I know that we all know people who have been through situations where it's like,
for sure.
you either have to give up an animal for life circumstance, or you think you're on the right path, and then for whatever reason, it's not the right fit.
I
And
know that you would adopt 100 animals if you could, but
Sure
we can't
would.
do that. So
Sure
your heart is in a very good place, and it isn't him. It isn't ultimately him. He's actually quite a wonderful dog. It's just more like, can he fit in your life, and can you, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and it's a lot of poop.
Yeah.
And anybody who, and I'm sure this gets easier, but anybody who can pick up dog poop, and you're not doing it with your bare hands. You got the little,
Sure.
Poop scoop, plastic baggies. But anybody who can do that without feeling it and not gagging, because I'm gagging,
Yeah.
like in a big way.
It's
almost
different
like
than cat poop.
I don't like that either.
I don't either, but
It's and it's warm. It's right
Yeah,
out of the.
I know.
Gosh, and you're right there, and you see the whole thing. This is not a thing that I'm enjoying. But again, this is not my first time at the dog poop rodeo.
maybe you need to get a fish, because you can't even really see their poop, really. Anyway,
Yeah, maybe.
oh,
Yeah.
moving on. I have a my week. Actually, I just got back from the shore, as they call it.
Is that the Jersey Shore?
Not the Jersey Shore. It's the Maryland Shore. It's called Ocean City, Maryland. I don't know if any of you have been there.
It's an entire different shore altogether.
It's really neat because you have like a boardwalk, like a real boardwalk with like, mom and pop ice cream shops and caramel corn and French fries with vinegar, and the beach is beautiful. It's a lot different than the West Coast. It's a lot more, I don't know, it's a little more civilized. And then you have like the boardwalk.
more civilized.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
Definitely.
Okay.
I don't know. You don't see a lot of like bros out there just like,
Wait, you're talking about Maryland being less
more
broy
civilized in a
than like.
yeah.
Huh.
Like if you go out to the West Coast, it's a lot of
But I mean, have you been to the Jersey Shore? They had a whole.
I haven't been to the Jersey Shore.
They've had. MTV is still doing episodes of that show.
No, I mean it's
Specifically for the broy thing.
okay. So yeah, no, not a broy vibe, but there is a vibe. I mean, it's
More
not
of a family,
maybe
right?
more of a family vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
People. It's very white, which is so interesting. And they have like the little pier where they have the rides and the games, and
That's
I
cute.
really like it. We actually spend some time in the arcade, which I love, and we play trivia and we get the tickets, and then you get to buy these really crappy prizes with your
Sure.
tickets, and
Yeah.
skee ball, and I don't know, I actually really like that. I really realized on this trip how much I really love games. Played a lot of poker, and Quirkle. I don't know if you ever played that. Super fun.
I have
Got
not
these
played Quirkle.
$8 glasses on the boardwalk. that
Very
I'll
nice.
Show you guys real quick.
They're
I don't know if you approve. They're super weird and trendy, but $8.
Yeah.
Rose colored. I like to look at
they're
life
probably
through
not
rose-colored
polarized,
glasses.
but hey,
Absolutely.
that's not what we care about.
Definitely. But what I wanted to mention really quickly is one of the lovely fellows that I was with. He's a boyfriend of my boyfriend's brother. His name is Wayne, and he's from Orlando, Florida. It was actually British. He's from London, but he lived in New York for a long time. Now he lives in Orlando, Florida, and he does hair. He's a stylist, and he's very talented. If anyone is in the Orlando area and you need a stylist, I will just hit me up. I'll give you his info. Hair by Wayne. He did my braids. They're kind of still intact, but
they're
I have a
super
braid
cute.
that
I love
goes
them
all the way around my head.
Now, is that real hair or not?
Oh, it's real hair.
Okay.
And actually,
No, I mean, is it your hair?
oh, it's my hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because it makes your hair look very thick.
It does. Well, my hair is thick, Sarah. It's
Is
all the
it?
biotin that
Is
I take.
it?
Well, you know, it's really funny because he cut my hair. It was so funny. He brought all of his stuff. You know, we're on vacation. We have a week out there on vacation.
Fun. Yeah.
And he's total professional, and he's cutting and styling everyone's hair all weekend. And it's so fun. It's such a different experience. I've never had that before.
Well, it's also nice of him to enjoy doing it to the point that he would do that, because a
On
lot of
his
people,
vacation.
yeah, a lot of people, you know, like massage therapist is like, get away from me. I'm not on the clock right now. I'm not doing that.
Oh, totally. No, I think he really enjoys it. Anyway, so shout out to Wayne. We love ya.
Shout out to Wayne. Hope to meet you one day. You can give me braids as well.
Yes, I'm sure he would love to do that.
Speaking of vacation, you know who went on vacation? Kim and Kanye. I know.
Do I really care?
No, and neither do I.
Where'd they go, though?
I don't even know, but they're, you know, it's like she's in like, you know, cool bathing suits and whatever. I saw a tweet this morning, and you know, the whole thing is becoming this like alien nation thing. I don't even understand
Total
anymore.
alienation. That's a good way of putting it.
And I don't know. It seemed like they were having a nice time.
No, this is an interesting topic because, you know, where did we take a wrong turn where we are so obsessed with these people we don't even know? I know there's always been like an obsessive celebrity culture.
Yeah.
But the Kardashians are on another level. I mean, people are too obsessed with them. They're just people, and I don't know. I'm not on that bandwagon.
I'm not obsessed with them, and as we've discussed on this show before, and Heather certainly knows, I love reality TV. Not all reality shows, but I mean, I watch plenty of it. So it's not like I can sit there and be like, I'm too highbrow for the keeping up with the Kardashians. But it's a difficult show for me to watch because it's so and we work in television and have for so long that it's like you know what the tricks are. But I watch it, I'm like, I don't feel like anybody's even trying.
Yeah.
They're just not trying. It's more of just like you see them in hair and makeup, and then you see them do kind of photo shoots, and then there's some fighting about something made up.
Yeah.
And then it's more kind of photo shoots, and
it's a lot of drama.
Well, it used to be a family reality show. Like,
yeah.
There's so many of us, you know, and we're just,
Let's
you
see
know,
the family dynamics.
Yeah,
and the
right.
day-to-day
Yeah, and some of the, you know, the younger siblings were quite a bit younger, and it's like now it's just like everyone's just like, we're supermodels and we're in hair and makeup again. It's somebody tell me what I'm missing. Because again, I love a good trash show.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I think like also, you know, they just get so praised for like, you know, what Kylie's like the youngest, most talented entrepreneur. But it's like, would she really be if she didn't have the backing of her family? I mean, that kind of stuff irritates me because it's such like nepotism. I don't know. I don't feel like it's a very pure piece of news.
Well, they probably don't care what we think.
They don't. Anyway, well, I hope they have a wonderful time, and I hope they get sunburned. No, just kidding.
Well, yeah, you know.
I don't think they will though. So yeah, kind of switching gears here. Sarah, you probably saw this. It was kind of all over the news, but it's been a little bit of a long time coming since 2016. But PETA's been trying to get Nabisco. Well, first let me ask you, those animal crackers. The circus ones in the box with the little circus animals on the, you know, the red box.
Yes.
Did you ever like those when you were a kid?
I ate them here and there. This is not...
My cat is humping a pillow right now.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's right on the other side of the camera.
Oh, my God.
I'm glad that you guys aren't seeing this. Charlie, there's just no reason for you to do that.
This is the second show in a row that we're throwing things at a cat.
Oh, poor Sam.
Stop it, Charlie.
Poor Sam. I I do remember. No wonder he's got behavioral issues. You're throwing things at your cat.
I don't normally do
All
that.
All he's doing is humping a pillow.
Yeah,
you know?
but I don't want him to. It's disturbing. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so focus.
Yes, I know the crackers. They weren't my favorite. They're a little dry for me.
They're a little dry.
I like the I prefer the circus animals that are covered in either pink or white frosting.
Oh yeah, those are good too. So these actually, I liked them. In fact, I still to this day, sometimes they'll be in craft service, like on set, and I'm like, I get really excited because I mean, I like my crackers shaped as animals. I'm just into it. But Nabisco, I think it was sort of a long time coming with them. I don't know why they didn't change this a million years ago. So, because like, why does it even matter? But on the boxes, these exotic animals, like it's like a gorilla, a giraffe, an elephant, and a couple other animals.
Tiger, I think.
I think a tiger, yeah. And they're essentially exotic animals that are in cages. Why do you care if your design has changed? I don't get that. But anyway, PETA, it took them a few years to the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. They finally got them to change their design. So this week in stores, you will see these Nabisco animal crackers that were actually created in 1902. They're super hella old. They will have a new design and they're free. They're unfettered and they're in their natural habitat. So yay, Nabisco, finally.
Well, one would assume that PETA has claimed the victory on this because Nabisco might have said we have finally,
Sure.
Right. I could say like, well, I told them to do it. And so they did it. So I'm sure PETA has proof. But I am totally 100% behind this. I know most people will be chuckling at us saying, well, not most people. Some people will be chuckling at us saying like, oh my gosh, why would anybody care about this? They're just cookies. But
it's a statement. I think
it's a statement. The way that
I'm appreciative of it.
The way that particular school mascots are no longer appropriate, and sometimes somebody steps in and says we can't call the mascot this anymore, and that's the way it's going to be. So, Heather, you need to really. I mean, that's let your cat hump
it's very
the pillow.
Violent. It's this violent humping of my pillow.
Now he's going to do it even more.
Oh boy.
Oh,
all right.
Charlie.
Anyway,
what a confused little kitty.
Oh man.
Maybe he's in love with your pillow. Let him have sex with your pillow.
It's like animal porn is happening in front of us behind.
Well, I will say that that Otis, the dog he's kind of licking his junk earlier, and it's whatever. You're an animal, that's what you do. But sometimes with dogs, it kind of comes out a little bit.
Yeah,
and you're
I
like,
don't like
whoa.
that. I actually don't like that.
I don't like it.
It disturbs me.
I don't like it either. And the bigger the dog, the. I was like, whoa. This is my living room. You gotta.
I know.
Seriously. I only saw it the one time. I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. Well, anyway, the fact that Nabisco animal crackers have joined the land of the living is a good thing.
I think so.
I'm no offense to any circus performers, but I'm anti-circus.
Actually, that's a point I am too, and that's a point that I wanted to make is. People back then, like maybe in the early, 1900s, they had a limited perspective on exotic animals because, they saw them in zoos and circuses. And so it is a really old school image. So I'm surprised it took them this long to do it. Well,
congratulations to PETA.
Cheers to PETA.
Cheers to PETA.
Good one.
You guys. Score one for you. Hey, so speaking of scoring, what's your medical score? No, I'm just kidding. So One Medical, which many of you may not have heard of, but Heather and I are actually pretty familiar with it, even though neither of us have been One Medical customers, patients. But it started in San Francisco. And the whole idea behind One Medical, and the reason I'm bringing up the story is because they raised some money, but that's not really the story. They've raised $350 million from Carlyle Group, VC firm, because they are doubling down on the areas that they have offices in. So the idea with One Medical is that instead of you work at a company, you've got maybe a few insurance plans. Sometimes you only have one. You pick one, you got to go to the doctor in the network, and you just sort of try to have as good of a time as possible in the U.S. medical system as it currently stands, which is, leaves a lot to be desired. So One Medical, members only, kind of a platform that offered medical services. And it was nice offices, same day scheduling, virtual doctor visits. Now, Kaiser does that now. I'm a Kaiser patient, but at the time, One Medical was very novel.
Totally.
In many ways, and some of the services have been adopted by other organizations. But it also started as a direct consumer model. Now it's expanding and has over the last few years offering medical care for a variety of corporations. So if I went to work at Uber, and I was like, well, I like Kaiser, I'll stick with that. Uber would also say, well, what about One Medical? That's an option that you have that's sort of more on that like higher PPO type tier.
Sure. Gosh, cool. I mean, maybe I should look into that because I'm still like, I don't have medical insurance right now. I've got to look into that because I was covered by Cobra and now I'm ineligible for it. It's so screwed up. I can't even wrap my head around how they come up with these. It's so complicated.
I'm actually surprised we haven't talked about this yet.
I know, me too.
Because you and I were both, we were fully employed and then, we were unemployed and then we've both been sort of freelancing ever since. And, one of the great things about being a freelancer is that you have to pay for your own health insurance in most cases, which I do because, of course, I want to cover myself, but it really
took a while
expensive
for you to do it.
It took a while for me to do it, and part of the reason was because
it's
I
expensive.
started to become like crippled by like bad choices of telemarketers calling me, trying to offer me health insurance, and I actually went with somebody got me on the phone one day, and I was feeling, I don't know, weak or I was sick of the whole.
I was probably pushing you to get it, and then of course I don't have it.
Well, so. I mean, everyone should have medical insurance, and I understand that if you can't, you can't. But I want everybody to be well.
Sure.
But I didn't even particularly like the guy who got me on the phone. I was just like, I want it to end. I will buy whatever you're selling. Just let's
sign me up.
Let's run it down. Well, it turned out that it was not 100% a scam, but it wasn't actual national health insurance. It wasn't Obamacare.
It was like kind of a scam, but like not a total scam.
Well, it was.
Sounds about right.
You know what it was? It's medical insurance that sometimes, let's say I'm working at Uber, and Uber's best option still doesn't totally cover something that I might either need or, my husband needs or that sort of thing. It's like add-on insurance. Yeah. So it's not like it's bunk.
Yeah.
But to buy it by itself will get me very little.
Totally. I've read reviews about it. I mean, I considered it I think years ago, and you don't get it. It's not what people are used to. You don't get the kind of coverage that you're used to, and I think a lot of people have been frustrated because they're trying to make appointments, but there's limited doctors in their city and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I actually want to look into it because I'm looking for something alternative. And
you're talking about One Medical. Yeah.
Yeah.
One Medical, not bunk.
Yeah, no, not
just
bunk.
to make sure. Yeah, I was talking about the weird guy that sold me insurance over the phone.
Oh,
which, by the way,
there's a lot of spam calls. I get a lot of those actually.
Oh gosh. By the way, when I kind of figured out what had happened, because again, in my moment of weakness, I was like, yes, sir, I will buy your health insurance. Like, just make the call stop. And then when I figured it out, I had to have the bank rescind the payment that I had sent them. I had to get my bank involved because they refused to reimburse me.
Yeah, I know. I've had that situation too. I had a weird insurance last year.
Wasn't a fun.
It was a little shady. Oh, in fact, the guy who sold it to me, apparently he got in trouble because he sold me something that didn't exist. And so this whole time I was on this insurance that didn't even exist, and I paid all this money, and it was really messed up. Anyway, it's just gotta get out of the U.S.
Kind of reminds me of that time that I thought I was buying auto insurance, but I was only buying apartment insurance.
Which is also helpful, but not when you get in a car accident.
No, No. And also,
I didn't know this, Sarah. That's pretty funny.
we're not going to get into details because some things just need to be, under the cloak of mystery.
Yes.
But let's just say that auto insurance is way more expensive than apartment insurance.
Yeah.
So, or at least it was on my plan. So the fact that I didn't notice it for as long as I did, and that I had somehow screwed them up, is it's really something.
Yeah. No, it is. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
It just goes to show you that for somebody who does not have a lot of money, I sure don't look at my bank statements.
You
closely
sure don't.
enough.
And I think this could be a fun little chapter in your future book, Sarah.
Oh, the book. Well, would I wonder if our patrons could help us. I don't know. We could all submit some really dramatic chapter.
Oh yeah.
So like the Have Such a Good Day. Like it's like the book that I was gonna say you want it in your bathroom. Nah, okay, maybe not. But like it's one of those books that like everyone wants one.
Actually, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have
like
this
the
book.
Paris Review, but for us.
No, I love that because I have this little tiny book. It's like this big, and it's sort of like one you'd probably find in like a bathroom, collection.
Something you're
which
flipping
can be
through if you're
kinda
killing
great.
a little time.
And it says, I actually really like this book. And it says, I think the title is Be Happy. And it's a super simple, every page is a different reason to be happy. And this is like really like rudimentary happiness. It's like
give me an example.
rainbows are beautiful. Like, like enjoy a rainbow or,
I would say
it's such a good book. And I feel like
when's
that
the last
could be a
time you
book
saw
that
a
we
rainbow
write.
and you were like, F you.
Never has anyone. We'd like to know if anyone's been pissed off at a rainbow.
Rainbow haters, please write in hi@havesuchagoodday.com because I don't think there is one.
No, I don't think so. And stuff like that where you kind of wake up and think about what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well, speaking of Patreon and patrons, or actually, I haven't even mentioned Patreon yet. So when we say patrons, we do mean the folks that help support the show on Patreon. Your army is growing by the day, and boy, do we appreciate you. It's so nice to hear all the good feedback from folks who are enjoying the show. But we want all of your feedback because, again, like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is hopefully a show for all of us. We want you to have more and more of a voice as we go on. You can find us and many of our options, we call them tiers, and goals that we have. They're monetary goals and other kind of fun tiers that offer perks if you can donate as little as $1 per month.
25 cents a show.
25 cents a show, yeah, because we're doing it once a week.
Yeah.
And we go up from there. And some of our tiers are like a little bit silly, but check them out. Let us know what you think, and also let us know if you have an idea for a tier that would work so well.
Yeah, we would love to hear
and
some
make
ideas.
us fabulously wealthy.
Yes, totally.
But is still within reason.
But that you guys want, that you guys would be, would like us to do something in particular, also, we do have our audio version on iTunes and any podcast pretty much any podcast app that you use. If it isn't on a podcast app that you use, please let us know because we want to make sure that we're easily accessible. And if you haven't checked out our patron wall of fame on our website at havesuchagoodday.com, please check it out. I just updated it today. It's all of you wonderful people who are contributing to our community, and your names are all in lights. Well, once we get an editor, we will actually put them in lights and put them in the show.
Yes.
But right now, you're just going to be on we have a special page for you. So thank you so much.
I don't know if you noticed, and he shall remain nameless, but there's a patron who's a friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
And he insisted that I bold his name.
Oh, really? No, I might have unbolded it today then.
Well, that's okay. It's you can't insist on having your name bolded.
He insisted. I need to know who this is.
Even though I did it, but I figured that you would see it and be like, why is this bold? But
David Prager?
Nope, not David Prager actually. Nope. Somebody else. But yes, the audio version is free. So this show is
almost free.
We want it,
which is insane.
We want it to be the beautiful rainbow.
We want to be
life.
Your beautiful rainbow
Yes.
every day.
Yeah.
So actually, I think you're gonna like this story, Sarah.
Okay.
Don't you like to be lazy? I mean, I know those weeks and those nights where you're like, man, I just had the most decadent evening. I like ordered 2 ramens and I was on the couch all night watching, Desperate Housewives and various like Netflix or whatever. And you just had the most like relaxing weekend. You like to be lazy, right?
I think if it were me, I would be watching Real Housewives of the OC, not Desperate Housewives.
Oh, sorry.
But I knew what you meant. And I just watched the latest OC episode last night. Boy, everything's getting so weird over there. But yes.
It's weird here too.
I think that and Heather and I talk about this all the time. It's like the older I get, the less extroverted I am.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not, but the window closes.
It's funny.
Much sooner.
I think that's pretty typical.
Yeah, and so like the best Friday night to me is just chilling. I got my ramen.
Get some good
got
food.
a good movie. Maybe I have
best.
company. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
But I want to feel lazy and feel
comfy.
fine.
I know, and be on your comfy couch.
Yeah.
I swear, because that's gonna be my Friday night. Hopefully, like fingers crossed, that no one tries to drag me out because I am looking forward to it.
Oh yeah,
But
I'm into it.
So I think this is really cool. So a new study by Kansas University researchers, they are saying that species, they studied mollusks.
Okay.
Spanning 5 million years. And the reason why they studied mollusks is because this is like sea snails, mussels, scallops, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There's a high level of data there. So they studied all these, 300 million species of mollusks. Okay, so that's a lot. And they realized that they think that maybe Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest is not correct. They think that maybe the survival of the laziest. So if you have a fast metabolism, for example, you might die off like the dinosaurs kind of thing. Like you're expending too much energy that maybe if you're a little more sloth-like, your species or as an individual, you will last longer, which I think is a very fascinating, it could be horse hockey. I don't know. What do you think about this, Sarah?
What's horse hockey?
It's like bullshit.
Oh, see, I would say horse pucky.
Horse hockey is also a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No,
but horse pucky. I like that one too.
I completely understand what that means. I hope that this is true.
Me too, because I would not have gone to spinning this morning.
I will be as lazy as necessary in order to survive.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. Yeah, because I'm being safe. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting out there with the riffraff. You
don't have to sweat and
get a good night's sleep.
Oh yes.
That is kind of fascinating.
I like it. So I'm gonna keep tabs on this story because some of these like science stories are, again, like you take it with a grain of salt because something could change 5 years from now and be like, that theory that those researchers did is actually not correct anymore.
Right, I know.
Like the milk thing, milk is bad for you, eggs are bad for you. Like, it's like one day to the next, things just constantly change. But I like this concept. I'm into it. But my thing is like, wouldn't you survive? But see, the thing is, if you become so sloth-like, I get it to some extent. You relax and you preserve your energy. But if you don't exercise at all and you're so overweight and sloth-like, I can't imagine that being extremely healthy. So
this is probably a good time for me to admit, because, hey, we're all friends here, that I have, for no good reason at all, gotten totally off my exercise regimen, which I actually really enjoy.
It's not like you.
Yeah, I've taken it seriously for many years because it makes me feel good. It makes me sleep better. I feel stronger, the whole thing. I am lucky enough, and you are too, to not have a problem with needing to lose weight.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm trying to gain weight half the time.
I kind of want to gain weight, actually.
Right. But and you roll your eyes, it's fine. But not exercising still sucks.
No, I don't like muscle atrophy. And honestly, I don't work out every day. But the reason why I do is after like 3 days, I hate that feeling. I don't like feeling like a sloth. And in fact, my relaxation feels much more exciting when I have exercised and worked hard. Because if I was always laying around, it wouldn't be as enjoyable. I like that enjoyment of, God, I worked so hard today and I sweated and I'm so tired and my body's tired. Like I'm going to watch a movie and treat myself.
Well, I like to run, Well, jog. I like to jog. I don't always feel like doing it, but I know it's good for me, and I always feel really good afterwards. But I'm not always loving it at the time.
No.
Depends on the podcast I'm listening to, or
totally.
music, or if the sun's out or whatever. But I do love that feeling of my muscles like
Me too.
hurting.
Me too.
It's a good hurt.
Oh yeah, I was.
It's well, erotic is for sure not the word, but like there's something about it where you're like it's a
feel
pleasure.
alive, though.
It's a pleasure
Totally.
feeling.
I think you feel more alive.
Yeah.
I actually, within 1 hour, I ate an ice cream cone, a thing of French fries, and pizza, 2 or 3 slices of pizza. So this is like shore food because there's just so much junk food.
Oh, right. We're back in Oceanside.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, we'll see if I gain a little weight.
Well, I ate a whole tub of queso made by Doritos.
That is so weird. I've never known you to do that. What did you buy it?
Yeah, I didn't steal it.
Did someone like leave it at your house and you're like, I better
No,
eat this?
I bought it at the convenience store. It's actually not my regular convenience store because I know they would have looked at me and been like, "What's with you today?" Because we know your habits. It's kombucha and frozen burritos.
And it's clearly not the other fancy bodega because they wouldn't sell that kind of horse hockey.
No, they would not sell that horse hockey. That's for sure. They don't even sell dairy there. But no, there's a brand of tortilla chips called Have a Corn Chips. I'm sure you've had them, and they've got this sort of lime. They're just delicious. I don't know how regional they are, but you see them all over California. And if you dip them in a little queso, it's a disgusting snack. I don't feel good about it.
You've always loved your nachos, though.
It's true,
so it makes sense.
It's true, but this is full on Velveeta type queso.
I'm a little disappointed though, Sarah, because you and I have a real love for chips together, and we have eaten probably every kind of chip together, but you've never shared this chip with me.
Have a Corn Chips?
No.
Oh, I bet if I showed you the label, you'd be like, "Oh yeah."
So maybe we have.
I know those.
Okay.
Oh, they're delicious.
Okay.
And if for some weird reason we have not shared them, you need to know.
All
about
right,
them.
let's do it. Next show.
It's going to be a big part of your life. So, I wanted to mention something that we touch on tech on the show. We don't try to get too into technology because there's so many other things to talk about. And this isn't really tech, but it's certainly internet culture. Have you noticed that Facebook is sending you the dumbest shit ever?
I turned off my notification. I was wondering about this. I'm so glad you brought this up.
So, okay. And I am I don't like notifications for anything. I will get notifications for precious few things. If you send me a direct message on Slack, for example, I know it's probably show related. I got to look at it.
Yeah.
You
better.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Next time I'm like, oh, didn't get the notification. But yes, when someone needs to get a hold of you directly, it's like there are notifications that are
they're necessary,
helpful, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Facebook is not one of those networks for me. I don't care. If you tag me in a photo on Facebook, I want to know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'll just get to the rest of it when I get to it, if I ever do.
So why is that happening?
I don't know. It's some desperation thing on Facebook's part.
I think so too.
It's I don't know.
And
I think it might have something to do with the fact that I technically have a page that I made unpublic years ago because I'm like, I just don't even want a page and a profile. It's dumb. I just want one.
Yeah.
But it's coming to the address that perhaps I associated with. I don't really know what the deal is, but it's becoming insistent and weird where it'll be like, let's say you have a acquaintance. Many of us do on Facebook. There's no day of any week that you'd be like, oh, I want to make sure that I get an email that the acquaintance posted an update.
That's what I've been getting. And like Winter Mitchell, did you see Winter Mitchell's latest post? It's a mutual friend of ours.
Yeah. Just got married.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes. Hi, Winter.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you're more than an acquaintance.
And it's not like I love Winter's posts. It's not that. It's just that I'm getting an email reminding me to check out her post.
Oh, it's obnoxious.
That's so interesting. Why are they doing that?
And the reason that I bring this up is right before the show. And these are two of my friends, two people who I am friends with Facebook, and I care very much about what they think. But the notification is, the email is, and I've got all of my image displays on, so I'm not missing anything. Sarah, did you see Frank Barbieri's comment on Hunter Walk's status? What? The answer is, I don't know if I did or not, but why the fuck are you emailing me about this, Facebook?
Wow.
I hate you.
Yeah, that's insane. We need to look into that because there's something going haywire over there.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot going on. Facebook, Twitter, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That we could I'd love to get into it in detail, but I think they're which is funny because particularly in Facebook's situation, you look at the numbers. Yeah, it's kind of had a bad earnings quarter this last time and freaked a bunch of people out, but the growth trajectory is still up and to the right.
Yeah.
So it's not like Facebook is like, holy crap, we need to start spamming people with emails because they've all forgotten about Facebook.
Yeah.
It's more expanding into markets where other markets are already saturated. So when I see something like this, I hate the network. And that's the opposite.
I was just going to say it makes you want to be on there less, which is
Right.
totally strange that they've chosen to do. I mean, this is very, very weird. I don't know.
Anyway, so Facebook, please stop that. Frank and Hunter, I am looking forward to your conversation and who commented on whose status.
Hey, Sarah, actually, sort of speaking of Instagram, I guess.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Freely the Banana Girl?
No.
I wasn't until today,
I don't like
actually.
the sound of it, though.
So
What's she do?
apparently she's there's a nude vegan blogger out
Okay.
there. And she's also she's like an influencer on Instagram. She has like a lot of followers.
When you say nude vegan blogger,
Yeah,
what one would assume blogging doesn't need to be, whether you're nude or not, is not a factor.
She's, well, literally on every photograph on her Instagram feed, she's nude. Not kidding.
Oh, so she's more of the nude vegan social star.
She's definitely an influencer,
I mean, unless
and I
she's,
don't
like,
know
blogging.
how it kind of came to be, but apparently she's kind of gotten a little controversial recently. Apparently she's sort of known. She became popular. She did this, like, you might have heard of this. She established this like 51 bananas a day diet. She like really into bananas. She'll eat like 30 bananas in a day kind of thing. And
51, 30, 10.
I know, 2. I mean, I rarely even eat 2 a day.
I think maybe once in my life I had 2 bananas in a single day. And that was like because
It's a
I was
little
trying to
weird.
stay alive, or like maybe I was hungover and somebody told me it was good
I
potassium.
always feel a little weird eating a second banana. I mean, I love bananas, especially if they're a certain ripeness. Like if they're too
I had a
ripe, I don't
banana
like
this
them.
morning.
Yeah. And
Bananas are, it's kind of like, they're not liquid, but you don't really have to chew them.
Yeah.
They're that sort of like,
They are a really interesting texture.
it's a semi
I love bananas, but I really don't like unripe bananas or too ripe bananas. I'll like there's just something but a perfectly ripe banana is one of my favorite fruits.
But who's eating that many bananas?
Well,
That's
she is clearly.
But why?
Well, so apparently she's Australian.
Okay. Well, that settles it.
She's living with the monkeys. But she apparently lives in a South American jungle in a tent, and that she lives through like monsoons, and she's just like naked by the river. Like she's, a lot of people lately aren't believing that that's what she's doing. Because all of her posts are kind of like, today I woke up in my tent and I felt like life is, she's trying to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. It's like, we're living this hustle bustle, we have our iPhones, which it's controversial also because she clearly has a smartphone. She clearly has some kind of satellite internet connection because she's posting. So that there's a little controversial element there because she's touting this whole like, let's live off the land, like I live in the jungle and I drink rain for, my water intake, and I swim in the rivers, and I, like that kind of thing. So she's like kind of hippy dippy vegan, that kind of thing. Oh,
sure, but like I don't know. I mean, and I am suspicious of anything like this.
Oh, me too. I'm a total skeptic.
Like I would probably on every single picture be like looking through the copy to make sure it's like who's sponsoring this post. Yeah.
Well, you're going to have fun
who
going
did-
down this rabbit hole.
Who did you tag? Yeah, because
I want you to follow her, Sarah. I want to hear your thoughts because
now she's vegan, which is okay, great. She eats a lot of bananas, but she's naked. But do we do like the sort of emoji pasties thing that people do over there?
No, she does sort of like poses where it's kind of like, she'll kind of cover her, you don't,
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen any nip, but like she kind of will cross her legs in a way, but she's clearly naked, but you don't see her private parts.
I see.
But
Okay.
apparently she's on I've never heard this word, frugivorous diet, which is fruit only, which is so bizarre. And apparently she ate like 50 potatoes, or maybe it was 20 potatoes. I don't know. It was a lot of potatoes in one day.
Is a potato a fruit?
Apparently.
I don't feel that is true.
Well, you should talk to her. Her real name, if you want to, try to find her. Her name is Leanne Ratcliffe. She's 37 years old. She's from Queensland, Australia. And the other controversial part is that people, so she has a smartphone. People are like, oh, you're living off the land, but see, you've got this internet connection. You're such a hypocrite. But a lot of people are thinking that she lives in a mansion with a personal photographer. So a lot of people are like not believing. I just think it's so funny. It's like you've got this sort of like, social profile, which is already sometimes so fake as it is. But then all these people are up in arms, like, you're not real. Like, I don't believe you. And maybe she is real. Maybe she is trying to like start a movement. I mean, good on her.
Maybe she is
anyway,
real.
I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, maybe she's eating fruit all day. I mean, I don't know. That seems like you're really going to miss out on some particular nutrition. But if we were stuck in the Amazon rainforest and there was only fruit, I mean, that would be the first place I'd start. Like, I don't know. I don't care if she's lying or not. But I have seen so many of these Instagram accounts, and some of them I've really fallen in love with. Like, there's one, it's like a raccoon account on also Instagram, where I just find that, when you start seeing over and over, like, sorry we haven't posted in a while, here's a TBT, which is like Throwback Thursday.
Oh, totally.
Where you're like, are you just like going into the archives? Or are you actually like posting something that's like actually relevant to today, which is kind of the point of Instagram. I mean,
Absolutely.
I use old photos sometimes too.
Sure.
But and then there was a woman who had a coyote as a pet. Like it's all about weird animals in me, which is why I'm in the predicament I'm in now. But yeah, it's sort of like, this is really fascinating and really cool, but something about it seems too perfect.
I agree. I'm intrigued, but I have to say one thing that I just had like a quick thought today when I was reading about this. There is something sort of, I'm almost like a little envious of like, to be able to like live in that simple way, that it just seems so unattainable nowadays because everything is so complex and we're so ruled by our personal technology. Everything's so chaotic. And I don't know, I just sort of like went through her pictures and, that she seems like she has a peaceful life. I mean, if I'm like, drinking water from a monsoon and eating 30 bananas a day, and I don't know, sometimes that sounds appealing.
Drinking water from a monsoon does not sound appealing. That sounds dangerous. It sounds like evacuation time. I will, because I know we have to move on, but and of course I can't remember the name of the Instagram account now, but there was this model that was had amassed all these followers, and she was like really beautiful and interesting looking, and it turned out that she was CG.
Oh yeah, no, we talked about it on the show like a million episodes ago.
Right,
yeah.
but since then,
I can't remember her name though.
Yeah, me either. So, and since then, you start because people are like, I call foul. Mm-hmm. It's sort of the new like, hey, this is photoshopped.
Totally.
And I just don't know how much I care.
That's sort of the whole thing. So I read the comments below, and it was like, people were like, leave her alone. Like, who cares? Like, let her do her thing. And then other people were like, I call bullshit. So
right.
I just think it's sort of interesting how it just riles certain people up. And
well, it's sort of like someone saying, well, not saying anything, but someone looking beautiful at the beach, and someone else being like, well, your boobs are fake. It's like, I mean,
like, come on.
Yeah, I just don't know. If I paid for them or something,
Yeah.
then maybe I'd have like, a skin in the game or something. But otherwise, you let that naked vegan girl eat her bananas. But I do think that that's probably, you need some protein.
I think
some
so too.
calcium.
That was immediately what I thought. I'm like, where did she? Maybe she eats some
bone
maybe she
density.
eats spiders and like the insects that are crawling the forest floor. I don't know.
Apparently that's the new thing. That's how we're all
Oh yeah,
gonna
like
survive,
eating
is
crickets and
eating
stuff.
Insects, yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm not looking forward to it, but
Oh man, I can't do it. I have too much of I'm an arachnophobe. But one thing I wanted to mention to you guys, and we've brought it up in some posts on Patreon and in our Discord, which is sort of our chat application. We do a thing every week where you can actually talk to us live via Discord, which is sort of like Slack. It's a chat program. It's very cool. You can jump into a room and you turn on your voice activation and we actually chat live for 30 minutes at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 4 to 4:30. I know that's going to vary around the globe, but I wanted to clarify that because I think people aren't totally clear on what that actually means, that you get into Discord, you jump into the room and you activate your voice. You have to turn, because you're usually muted, so you have to unmute. And then Sarah and I are in a room and we can like chat. It's pretty cool. And that's only for $10 and over patrons. So if you're interested in that, if you're already a $10 patron and you didn't realize this, apologies. But now you know. So this is going to happen every week. You guys can ask us almost anything within reason.
I mean, ask anything.
We might turn you down, but
right. But probably not.
Probably not.
There aren't that many questions that I would refuse to answer. I might have bad answers to them.
Sure.
But yeah, so and this still speaks to what we're always hoping for the show is the two of us is great, but the more that we can get to know the folks that support us, it makes everybody happier, hopefully.
Yeah, and all of this stuff is just going to continue to grow. I mean, we have such, not even lofty goals, but we want guests on our show. Like, we think it would be fantastic to have other voices and so once we kind of can handle this weekly and, we don't want to take on too much, but, there's new stuff coming down the pike.
That too.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was the pipe.
Or is it the pipe? No,
I
think
don't
it's the
know.
pike.
The pike?
I think it is.
I think you're
get
right,
confused
but I don't
too.
know what a pike is.
Coming down the pike.
Pike's Peak, I know, is a ski run in Tahoe.
It's the pike. I think it's the pike.
So I think that I probably just over time heard pipe and then I thought like, go coming down the pipes like a plumbing system.
I think more than you have been confused.
Right. Oh no, I'm.
It's sort of like flushing out and flushing out. A lot of people have gotten confused about that.
Oh, but those are so different.
Oh, totally. But like it's sort of a similar thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, pike.
Or this begs the question where you're like, it doesn't actually. Depends on, did you take like critical thinking classes? Because it's like, that actually is like a very specific thing, which by the way, I get wrong all the time. So I'm no better than anybody.
Well, I guess you could think of the pike as like, it's short for turnpike. So it's like a road. And so sometimes a toll road. So it's coming down the road, but then you could say the same thing as coming down the pipe. So, I mean, I think there's obvious confusion there.
It's like, I couldn't care less or I could care less. We all know what it's supposed to be, but common vernacular has just sort of like gone in a weird direction where when someone says that, I'm like, oh, okay, you're like
English
being
is
like
hard.
Super literal right now. Yeah.
Seriously, our language is hard. I can't imagine trying to learn English. I think it's really hard for people to learn English.
Well, one of the funniest things, and I noticed that in Discord, you were having a lively conversation about learning languages.
I was.
You were one of the, and you'll get a kick out of this. Yes, come hang out with us in Discord and talk about learning languages.
Super fun.
But Heather, being the French expert that she is, and me not, the first time that I learned that the word for, if you're counting numbers, there's 60, but then 70 is 60 plus 10, and then 80 is 20 or 4 20s, is just like blew my mind. I'm like, why didn't they just figure out a word for 70 and then 80? Because now I got to do all this math. But it's so cool because I just never heard such a thing.
Mm-hmm. No, it is neat. I like to deconstruct that stuff.
And you might say, well, it comes from Latin. And maybe that's true, but other Latin languages do not work the way that French numbering does.
No, definitely not.
So
I wish I learned Latin in
go.
school. I think that would have been helpful.
Anyone I know who took it, whether because they were forced to because they went to Catholic school or whatever, tells me this is not something that I needed.
No, I think
This is not something that I should have put so much effort into.
Yeah.
And there are exceptions. So if you love your Latin and use it every day, please let us know.
Yes. And again, if you want to become a $10 patron, go to patreon.com/havesuchagoodday and join us. Join the conversation. We'll talk about anything.
Do it now. You know what we're also going to do for our $5 and more patrons? We've got a little bonus topic. We do this at the end of every show. So we're going to say goodbye to everybody. Episode 7 is in the can.
It sure is.
Patrons who are ready for your bonus topic, stick around. Lots more to come. For everybody else, thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm Sarah.
Thank you. It's been super fun. I'm Heather.
And we will
have such a good day.
We will.
And night.